These men are nearing the finish line, having walked 3 kilometres through a river with 25 kilos on their backs, heaving a slab of concrete weighing 100 kilos. It's no wonder some lips are quivering. This is just one test Commandos have to pass to join the Afghan National Army Special Forces.
First, they will be smart and then very strong.
When we're recruiting for the Special Forces, we're going to the Commando Battalion and we select recruit from the Commando Battalion.
If those people not have education, no good knowledge, they never can be a special force.
It's a 3-day selection process where 230 candidates battle it out to make the grade. Within the branches of the Afghan security forces, they don't come much more elite than special forces.
Special force یک تیمش فعلا در یک ولسوالی که بسیار ناآرام است، در ولسوالی که در اونجا وضعیت تا اندازه خراب است که اردو و پلیس نتوانسته اونجا برن یا باقی بمانن. دیگه به خاطر از یک تیم اسپیشال فورس این توانایی را پیدا میکنه از این تمرینات که در اونجا برن امیر رقم وظایف ثقیل انجام بدن و در ولسوالی امو ولسوالی را باثبات بسازن.
Taking on insurgents isn't the only job these men will be required to do. They're also needed for diplomacy.
در یک شهر همین خوبی‌ها داشته باشه که بعد در یک وظیفه مرقت مردم رویه خوب داشته باشن، احترام بگذاره در مردم، در رئیس فضای قریه احترام بگذاره، دیگه وظیفه خوب مردم از کلشان راضی باشه.
Every candidate is known by a number. Number 4 is being marked down as one of the stronger ones.
We have to be strong physically and mentally also. And mentally is very good in a special force. If a person doesn't have good mentally, he doesn't become a special force.
The Afghan Commandos and Special Forces have recently been credited for killing hundreds of insurgents during operations in the east. Backed by the Afghan army, they'll be the ones doing much of the fighting once foreign combat troops leave in 2014. There's a feeling of confidence, but one Afghan trainer here says they need more international help to provide heavy weapons, helicopters and basic equipment. That's not much of a concern to these men right now. More immediate for them is getting through the Special Forces selection.
They can walk around 10-20 kilometers with rucksack, with ammunition, any kind of the ammo. They can do that or not. We have to be sure they are really a strong man.
These soldiers are Afghanistan's best of the best. They are the country's own Special Forces unit, which has, for a while now, been receiving equipment and training from their US counterparts. Members are selected from elite units within the police and army. At their training camp on the outskirts of Kabul, the Afghan Special Forces practice conducting raids. They use flash grenades to get residents to come out of their compounds. After having searched them, the men enter inside the building. Special Forces have carried out 3,800 raids against insurgent targets in the past year with the help of coalition forces. In 91% of these raids, no shots are fired, according to ISAF.
There is only 1.36 civilian casualties and 3,000 operations. But it's unacceptable because the enemy also used people as a shield, so they played a greater role.
Many of these raids are carried out at night. Coalition forces say they are one of their most effective weapons in the fight against insurgency. Afghan President Hamid Karzai, however, has called for them to end. It's an issue which both parties are in discussions over. The night operations which we are conducting are successful from the beginning of the Special Forces until now, and we did not have any civilian casualties. We have killed insurgents. We did not hurt civilians. Though the Americans were involved in creating this unit, More and more now, they're stepping out on their own.
Soon we will start our platoon-size independent operations by the help of assistance of coalition forces, but our mainly operations will be independent in future.
Many challenges lie ahead, but US and Afghan officials are confident this elite unit will provide a significant contribution to the country's stability when combat troops leave Afghanistan in 2014.
These are the top security forces of Afghanistan, known as the National Directorate of Security, or NDS, in a joint training exercise with a quick reaction force of the Afghan National Police. Today, in Rumur Valley in Bamiyan, a province in the heart of Afghanistan, the NDS and the Afghan police are taking part in an exercise demonstrating to provincial council members and other high-ranking officials their abilities to fight insurgents.
Not only me, but all the member of NSF that they were here present, they believe that they have got enough capability. They have to work more. They have to work hardly to update their capability every day. But they were very good.
Bamiyan is one of the more secure provinces of Afghanistan, but the area police chief says not having enough security forces to patrol its provincial borders means Taliban coming from troubled neighboring provinces can cause problems for the people of the region.
اکثرا این از مرزها یا از سرحداتی که با ولایت هم مرز هست مشکلاتی گاهی پیش آمده، مثلا دره شکاری. ما امیدوار هستم که با در نظر داشتی این مشکلات نیروهای لازمی که اینجا بتونه حل مشکل شود در نظر گرفته شود.
Like many other provinces in Afghanistan, Bamiyan had until recently a provincial reconstruction team, or PRT, which provided security, governance and development assistance in the province. New Zealand led this PRT with contributions from Malaysia and the United States. Although the PRT has recently closed, for more than 18 months the province's security has been the responsibility of the Afghan National Security Forces. The local police chief says having a close relationship with the NDS is crucial to provide stable security for the region.
نیروهای امنیتی ملی هم میتونه پلیس را همکاری بکنه. هماهنگی که ما داریم و در هماهنگی با یکدیگر کار میکنیم، امیدواری هست که ما در مواقع ضرورت اونا ما را بتونه کمکی خوب بکنه و یا در مواقع ضرورت ما اونا را در وظایفی که پیش رو داشته باشه همکاری بکنیم.
مردم افغانستان بالای شما جوانان دلیر صدیق و شجاع کماندو افتخار میکنن که شما در صفوف قواتهای خاص یک جای شدین و از یک جای شدن شما تمام فامیلایتان افتخار میکنن.
هغه په لاس ورځې کې مونږ هغه سر ته رسو په عادي سرباز نیول تر آخرین پرته پورې هغه تمرینات سر ته رسي چې په هغه کې ډېر ثقیله تمرینات دي، په هغه کې وزني ټوپکې یا هر شی چې ورسره یې همغه 10 کیلو وزن سره په دغه لاس ورځې کې که چېرته دی وتوانېده هغه ځانګړو ځواکونو ته لاره پیدا کړي، که ونه توانېده هغه عادي اردو ته بیرته
کماندو خصوصیت دا ده چې دوی سلیری ساعته ایله 2 ورځې دپاره دوی وظیفه لري. وظیفه ډېره مختصه وظیفه لري. کله چې دوی ته وظیفه ورکول کېږي په هغه ثانیه عاجلانه وظیفه اجرا کوي او بیرته وظیفه چې په خپل تاسته ورسېدله حرکت کوي راځي خپل خطې ته.
د ځانګړو د ځواکونو هغه تمرینات چې کوي په خصوصا د په شپه او ورځ کې لږ پودات سخت دي، لیکن موږ د شپې تمرینات لرو. په عساکر د اردو کې هغه د شپې تمرینات نه لري.
تعلیم و تربیه پیشرفته کماندو در طی 12 هفته که شامل ترینینگ‌های مختلف است بالای پرسنل پیش برده میشه که شامل تعلیمات محاصره و تلاشی است، انداخته پیشرفته است، تمرینات هلیکوپتر است، درس‌های شب است، آشنایی با تمام سلاح و تجهیزات کماندو است که میتونن وظایف خود را در هر نوع شرایط شب روز افزای جوی ماهانه انجام بدن.
هغه باید د فیزیکی د برخورد نه باید ټیټي، باید فیزیکی قوت جیږي او عملی نه په سطح لیکن په عمل مفتتانی او روحیه ښي وطن دوستی او باوراله اوسیږي، هوښیاره اوسیږي، خصوصا فیزیکی قوه باید جیږي.
قطعات و جزئیات کماندو بعد از برآمدن نیروهای ائتلاف از افغانستان کاملا آمادگی دارند در قسمت مبارزه با دشمنان مردم افغانستان. هیچ نوع کدام مشکلی وجود نداره. همیشه در شب و روز در هر نوع هر روزی آماده دفاع از وطن خودست.
The Afghan Crisis Response Unit, or CRU, well known for their aid in containing and neutralizing high-profile urban attacks in Kabul, here prepare to capture and detain suspects in a recent kidnapping and murder of an Afghan interpreter.
بعداً برای ما راپور رسید. در راپور قطعه سیاریو مشاورین یا استادای نروژنی مشترک کردند. سیدآباد ولسوالی سیدآباد.
Not just Afghans, but ISAF mentors from Special Operations Forces or SOF teams boarded these helicopters. And it wasn't just men, but women as well, like this female Norwegian SOF member who mentors the women of the Afghan CRU.
ما مردم افغانستان کسی مردانه را نمیمانه که خانم‌ها را تلاشی بکنه. ما از این خاطر میرویم.
This female CRU officer said she doesn't hesitate to engage in night operations.
خب تمرینات چیزا که میکنیم مشکل ما را رفع میکنه. با تمریناتش اشتراک داریم. برای تمرین کس ما اشتراک میکنیم همراه برادرای خود. باز بر ما مشکل نمیاد وظیفه که میریم.
But unlike this woman, who has been a member of the CRU for 3 years, some of the Afghan troops on this operation have been training for far less. So it is a high-risk, learning-on-the-job mission, with both Norwegian mentors and Afghan instructors aiding the newer recruits. But experienced or not, every commando aboard this mission is heading into a threat-filled situation and must perform. The first step is to call out the residents of a compound, or get their attention. If those inside fail to open the door, the assault team blows it. This heavy gate, which was in fact the entrance to 2 combined compounds, took 2 charges to blow. The assault team, comprised mostly of Afghans but with some Norwegian mentors, enter the first northern compound. Searching all rooms and isolating fighting-age men. Intelligence sources reported that the suspected insurgents had moved from this compound to the next one, and the teams were alerted of a shooter on the roof and a potential suicide bomber. But the compound was cleared without incident, and the group of 10 fighting-age men were assembled. There was compelling evidence found at the scene, which cannot be shown, linking at least one of the men to the kidnapping. But during the subsequent questioning, the stories of each man didn't match up about who owned the evidence. So the Commandos decided to take all 10 men into custody, which is legal for up to 72 hours before official charges must be made, according to Afghan law. An Afghan member of the Ministry of Interior, who's known as the prosecutor, had the final say on who was detained. It was necessary to convince the prosecutor of what in the West we would call due cause for detaining each one. Ultimately, the prosecutor agreed that it was legitimate to take all the men, except for one of the least likely of the suspects, who had requested that he ought to be left behind to care for the women and children in the compound. While this deliberation took place, the CRU commandos recorded biometric information of the suspects, including fingerprints, retinal scans, and headshots, and then ran them against an online database to check for any other criminal or insurgent activity on record. With the Afghan prosecutor's approval, the detainees were let out and we all returned to the pickup points.